Well, hello again. As I said, I just wanted to take a few more minutes to go over the Declaration of Sentiments and Resolutions. Written in 1848, it's certainly not easy reading, so that's why I only had you take a look at two, although maybe you ended up looking at more of them. Um, so if I were to paraphrase some of these, what exactly are they trying to? What's the main idea? A, he has never permitted her to exercise her inalienable right to the elective franchise. So elective franchise, talking about voting there. And notice the word inalienable, which is also used in the Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson. So kind of clever to use that language there. B, he has compelled her to submit to laws in the formation of which she has no voice. So whether that is voting for things, obviously, whether that's choosing representatives, whether that's choosing presidential leadership, right? That you're never able to have any say in any level of the creation of laws. C, he has withheld from her rights which are given to the most ignorant and degraded men, both natives and foreigners. So this one is a little bit a different tone, right? Basically, it's saying that a woman could have as many good qualities as you could think of, right? Whether it's kindness, intelligence, um, grace, calmness, whatever you view as good qualities, a woman could have all of those, and yet she would still not rise to the level of even the lowest man, right? A man, whether somebody who's born in the United States or born somewhere else, that they could be someone who lacks all of those qualities. And whatever terrible qualities you think a person could possibly have, a man could have all of those, but yet he would still be up here, right, with only room to go up, and she would be here with only room to go down. So that's sort of what C is. D, having deprived her of this right of a citizen, the elective franchise, thereby leaving her without representation in the halls of legislation, he is oppressor all sides. So this just sort of gets specifically at the idea of that we are a republic, but how can you be a republic if someone is not granted a say in who represents them, nor are they ever going to be a representative? Right at that time, there were no women in Congress, in the House, or in the Senate, and of course, there were no female presidents back then. Still aren't. Um, E, he has made her, if married in the eye of the law, civilly dead. The reading went over this a little bit, which almost a single woman had more rights than a married woman, just because all of the property ended up becoming the husband's if that took place. A great example. I know we didn't get a chance, sadly, to go to it, but at Arlington National Cemetery, it used to be the home of the Custis family. And you've this big house, Arlington House, that overlooks Washington D.C., just across the road in Virginia, and it's often mentioned, oh, that's Robert E. Lee's home. Well, it's only Robert E. Lee's home because his wife had that home before he did. But it's sort of it's his house, but really, it was Lee's grandparents who lived there for I believe that they built it, although I could be mistaken on that. F, he has taken from her all right of property, even the wages she earns. So again, the idea that a married woman is not allowed to own property. G, he has so framed the laws of divorce as to what shall be the proper causes, and in the separate case of separation, to whom the guardianship of the children shall be given, as to be wholly regardless of the happiness of women. Right. So obviously, divorces were far less common back then. But one of the reasons is because if a woman were to divorce her husband, then she would probably give up guardianship of her children. So you're putting women in an awful position of, maybe it's just not a match, but maybe there's, some significant abuse or mistreatment in the marriage. But you have a woman who is, in essence, forced to stay in that relationship so that she doesn't lose contact with her children. So that would be something that is even spoken about again in 1848. So, 13 years before the Civil War even began. And then H, after depriving her of all rights as a married woman, if single and the owner of property, he has taxed her to support a government which recognizes her only when her property can be made profitable to it. So I thought this was sort of interesting because it's women who do own a business, they're going to be paying taxes, but that's really the only day the government cares about them, is on tax day. And then, ironically, the taxes help support a government that doesn't recognize her at all on voting day, but again, does expect her to pay taxes on tax day. So it's almost like the successful female business owner is helping to feed this beast that helps keep her as a second class citizen. All right. So anyway, those were the 8 things. I did want to take a minute to go over those. That not just talking about suffrage, but also talking about things like divorce, talking about being a republic, talking about the whole idea of the tax structure, things like that. I thought that was worth going over a little bit more. And with that, I will stop talking and wish you a good day.